Ada Onwu has always been a runner, not just on the track, but in life. She chased dreams, perfection, and a sense of belonging she couldn't seem to grasp. For as long as she could remember, her legs were her escape. Under the blazing Lagos sun, her feet pounded against the red earth, pushing her forward, the future she dreamed of. Gold medals, glory, and Amanda Cole's approval. Amanda was more than just her coach. She was her obsession. Ada craved Amanda's attention, hung on every critique, and lived for the rare moments when others' lips curled into a satisfied smile. That day, as the team wrapped up practice, Ada lingered. She pretended to stretch while Amanda reviewed notes with another coach, her eyes drunk in the sight of Amanda's sharp profile, the way her fingers brushed stray curls from her face. The determination itched into her every move. At that, Amanda's voice snapped like a whip, pulling her back to reality. You're daydreaming. Focus. African Games are 2 months away and you are not even in peak form. Ada flushed, but it wasn't from shame. She felt something deeper, an intense hunger for Amanda's approval and more. Zainab had always been Ada's biggest rival on the track, but now she felt like a rival of it too. Amanda had started spending extra time coaching Zainab, helping her sprints. It infuriated Ada. Each praise Amanda threw Zainab's way felt like a dagger. Nice work, Zainab, Amanda called during drills. Ada's jaw tightened. She pushed herself harder, sprinting until her lungs burned. She had to prove she was better, not just at running, but at being worthy of Amanda's time. Later, as they cooled down, Zainab smiled. Jealous Ada, she teased. Ada's face clenched, but she said nothing. She didn't need words, she would prove herself on the track. Curiosity drove Ada to the peak, into Amanda's life beyond the track. She followed Amanda at distance one evening, watching her stroll through the market, laughing with a vendor. Ada marveled at how different Amanda seemed outside the rigid structure of coaching. She bought a fruit juice from the same store Amanda had visited, as if drinking from the same bottle would bring her closer to her coach. But there was another side of Amanda's life that Ada hadn't seen before, a distant sadness that clung onto her like a shadow. Amanda spoke briefly with an older woman, handing over a stash of cash. Ada wondered what secrets Amanda carried, secrets that made her so guarded. Ada's obsession with Amanda began to spill over into other areas of her life. She skipped group outings with housemates and teammates, choosing instead to spend hours perfecting her form, hoping Amanda would notice. Her family began to worry. You're always running, but where are you running to? Her mother asked one evening. Ada had no answer. Even when Amanda dismissed her with harsh critiques, Ada felt an intoxicating thrill in the sting of Amanda's words. Each interaction, no matter how small, set the fire within her. One day, Ada whispered to herself, Amanda will see me for who I really am. One evening after practice, Ada stayed behind, waiting for Amanda in the locker room. Her pulse raised as she rehearsed what she would say. When Amanda walked in, Ada blurted out, Coach, I think... Amanda's sharp look froze her. What are you still doing here? Go home. Ada started, unsure how to proceed. I just wanted to say thank you for everything. Amanda's expression softened, but only slightly. You're welcome, Ada. But this is a professional space. Don't forget that. The words stung Ada, but she clung to the fleeting softness in Amanda's voice, twisting it into something it wasn't. Amanda Cole sat in her office late into the night, staring at the stack of performance evaluations she had yet to finish. Her mind kept drifting back to Ada, the young athlete with undeniable talent. Her explosive speed and the determination made her a top contender for medals. But lately, Amanda had noticed something unsettling. Ada's intensity during training had taken on a personal edge. It wasn't just ambition, it was fixation. Amanda sighed, running a hand through her hair. She had seen this kind of obsession before. Early in her coaching career, one of her mentees had become overly attached, blurring the lines between professional and personal relationship. It had nearly ruined her career. Amanda couldn't let history repeat itself. She resolved to set clearer boundaries with Amanda. No matter how much it hurts the little girl's feelings, she's young, Amanda murmured to herself. She'll understand someday. The upcoming regional qualifiers brought a surge of tens to the track. Zainab was running her best times yet, while Ada seemed to be struggling with her focus. Every time Amanda praised Zainab, Ada's resentment grew. During a relay practice, Ada deliberately pushed herself too hard, nearly colliding with Zainab during the baton exchange. Control yourself, Ada, Amanda shouted, her voice cutting through the air. Ada's face burned with humiliation. That evening, she replayed the moment in her mind, twisting Amanda's reprimand into a challenge. She doesn't believe in me, Ada muttered, her nails digging into her palms. I'll make her believe. It was during one-on-one training session that everything boiled over. Amanda pushed Ada hard, demanding precision and discipline. Ada, already on edge, snapped. Why do you even bother with me if you think Zainab is so perfect? She yelled, her voice trembling. Amanda stared at her stunned. This isn't about Zainab, Ada. This is about you and your inability to focus on what matters. Ada's chest heaved with anger and frustration. You don't get it, she spat. You don't see how much I. She stopped herself, realizing she had gone too far. Amanda's expression hardened. Get it together, Ada, or I can't coach you anymore. The team arrived at the African Games amidst the buzz of cameras and fans. Ada felt the weight of expectation pressing down on her. She knew this was her chance to prove herself, not just to the world, but to Amanda. But as the preliminaries began, she noticed Amanda's attention drifting towards Zainab. During the opening ceremonies, Amanda pulled Ada aside. This is your moment, Ada, she said, her tone encouraging but distant. Ada nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. She vowed to win not for herself, but to force Amanda to see her, to acknowledge her as the star she wanted to be. The final race was brutal. Ada pushed herself to the limit, her muscles screaming as she crossed the finish line. She glanced at the scoreboard. Second place, silver. The cheers of the crowd felt hollow in her ears. She had failed. She looked at Amanda in the crowd, hoping for reassurance, but Amanda's face was unreadable. Later that night, as the team celebrated, Amanda pulled Ada aside. You ran a great race, she said, her voice quiet, but then her expression shifted. There's something I need to tell you. Ada's heart pounded as Amanda revealed her secret. She had bet on Ada to win gold. Ada froze, her mind spinning. The person she had trusted most had betrayed her. Ada stared at Amanda, her breath caught in her throat. You bet on me? She repeated, disbelief in her voice. Amanda nodded, guilt shadowing her face. It wasn't personal, it was a calculated risk, she said, as though the explanation could soften the blow. But to Ada, it felt deeply personal. Every critique, every word of encouragement, every lingering glance. Had it all been part of Amanda's gamble? How could you, Ada whispered, her voice breaking. Amanda reached out for her, but she stepped back. The walls between them, already cracking, shattered completely. Stay away from me. Ada spat before walking away, tears burning her eyes. The days after Amanda's confessions were blur. Ada threw herself into training, running laps until her body ached, her vision blurred. It wasn't about the races anymore. It was about numbing the pain. She stopped answering her teammates' calls and avoided Amanda entirely. Her obsession with Amanda transformed into something darker. She replayed every interaction in her head, searching for signs of manipulation. She found herself torn between anger and longing. Despite the betrayal, she still craved Amanda's attention. The contradiction ate her away, leaving her a shell of the confident athlete she had once been. Amanda kept her distance, respecting others' wishes for space, but the absence of their connection left Ada adrift. During a team meeting, Zainab took the opportunity to gloat. "Looks like your golden girl isn't a golden anymore," she sneered. Ada snapped. She lunged at Zainab, and it took two teammates to pull her back. Amanda watched her from the sidelines, her face a mask of disappointment. Ada, she firmly said, "You are benched until further notice." These words hit Ada harder than an insult Zainab could throw. She had let her emotions consume her, and now she's paying the price. Being benched was a wake-up call, but it didn't stop Ada from spiraling. One night, she ran alone in the rain, pushing her body to its limits. She slipped on the wet tracks, her ankle twisting beneath her. The pain was immediate and sharp, bringing her to the ground. As she lay there clutching her ankle, she realized how far she had fallen. Her obsession with Amanda, her need for validation, her inability to let go of the betrayal, it had all led her here, broken and alone. For the first time, Adam admitted to herself she needed help. Zainab, surprisingly, was the one who reached out. "You're a mess, Ada," she just blurted, showing up at Ada's dorm with eyes for her swollen ankle. "But even I don't want to see you like this." They talked for hours, Zainab's sharp edges softening as she shared her struggles with insecurity and pressure. Ada realized she wasn't alone in her pain. It was the first time she had felt truly seen, not as a rival or an athlete, but as a person. "You need to figure out who you are without her," Zainab said, and Ada knew she was right. Amanda sat in her car outside the training facility, her hands gripping the steering wheel. She couldn't shake the image of Ada's devastated face when she had confessed. She thought honesty was a best option, but she didn't consider how deeply it would hurt Ada. Amanda replayed their journey in her mind. She had seen Ada's potential from the beginning, a raw, unfiltered passion for running. She had poured herself into coaching Ada, not realizing how their relationship had shifted. Somewhere along the line, she had crossed a line, and Ada wasn't the one suffering the consequences. Amanda knew she had to find a way to make things right. Ada's ankle healed slowly, so she did her resolve. Zainab's words had stuck like a cord. She needed to rebuild herself. Immediately, Ada reached out to Amanda. "Can we talk?" her message read. Amanda's reply was immediate. "Of course." They met at a quiet cafe. This conversation was awkward at first, filled with long silences and hesitant glances. Ada finally broke the tension. "I don't understand why you did it," she said, her voice trembling. Amanda sighed. "I made a mistake. I let my ambition cloud my judgment, but it was never about doubting you. It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was a start." As part of her recovery, Ada sought advice from a retired athlete, Coach Tayo, who had once been a champion sprinter. Tayo's approach was vastly different from Amanda's, firm but empathetic. "You are more than your victories, Ada," Tayo said during one session. "You need to stop running for others and start running for yourself." Under Tayo's guidance, Ada began to rediscover her love for the sport. She trained at her own pace, focusing on techniques and mental strength. It was liberating, a reminder that her journey didn't have to be defined by anyone's expectation. Ada decided to take a bold step: therapy. At first, she was hesitant to open up, but her therapist created a safe space where she could unpack her feelings. Your obsession wasn't about love, her therapist explained. It was about control, about filling a void. The sessions were painful but enlightening. Ada began to recognize patterns in her behavior, tracing them back to her childhood and her need for validation. Slowly, she learned healthier ways to cope with her emotions. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but each step brought her closer to the person she wanted to be. Amanda approached Ada after a regional meet, where Ada had performed well despite being out of the spotlight. "I've been watching you," Amanda said. "You have grown so much." Ada smiled. It wasn't the desperate smile of anyone's approval, it was genuine. "Thank you," Ada said, her voice steady. "But I think it's time I move on." Amanda nodded, respecting Ada's decision. They parted ways amicably. And for the first time, Ada felt free. She was no longer tied to Amanda's shadow. She was finally running her own race. Post breakup with Amanda, Ada decided to embrace her independence and find ways to monetize her talent. A chance encounter with her tech-savvy teammate Emeka led to an idea. Ada could launch her own fitness brand, Ada Fit. Emeka suggested, laughing. "We will sell everything: workout plans, running shoes, maybe even motivational quotes." Ada laughed at first, but realized Emeka was onto something. The fitness craze was booming, and she had a name people respected in athletics. She hired Emeka as a brand manager, which he proudly updated on his Instagram bio, and started brainstorming ideas for her fitness empire. To promote other fits, Emeka suggested making funny workout videos. Ada was skeptical but agreed. Their first video featured Ada demonstrating proper sprinting techniques while Emeka tried and failed to keep up. His exaggerated falls and comical bad form had viewers in stitches. The video went viral overnight. People loved the mixture of humor and practical advice. "You are the Usain Bolt of comedy," one fan commented. Ada couldn't believe it. Suddenly, her phone buzzed non-stop with sponsorship offers from energy drinks and sportswear companies. Ada's Fit wasn't just an idea anymore, it was a movement. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Ada partnered with a local shoemaker to create her signature running shoes, the Silver Stride. She launched a line of brightly colored, hilarious name energy bar, Adalicious Bites, which sold out in days. Her fans adored her witty captions on social media: "Run like your crush is at the finish line," or "Remember every step burns calories," even the one to your fridge. Her sense of humor made fitness approachable, and her following grew rapidly. To keep her content fresh, Ada invited fans to join her for a free training session in Lagos. What she didn't expect was the chaos. During one sprinting drill, an over enthusiastic fan tripped and caused a domino effect of runners tumbling into a pile. Ada couldn't stop laughing. "We are breaking records and ankles," she joked, posting a video of the fiasco. The clip exploded online, with fans dubbing her the queen of relatable fitness. Despite the comedic mishaps, Ada's sessions became widely popular. People flocking from across the city to join. One day, Ada received an email that made her do a double take.
Oh my
It was
god.
from a global
Wow.
sportswear
Wow.
giant
Can't see
offering to
this.
sponsor her brand and take Ada Fit International. Ada Fit USA has a nice ring to it, Emeka said, grinning. The deal came with peaks. all expense paid trip to New York for a brand lunch, billboards with her face, and a six-figure contract. Ada's mother, who had once worried about her obsession with running, being with pride. My daughter, the global superstar, she said, showing off Ada's billboard photo to the neighbors. Ada and Emeka arrived in New York like eye-wide tourists. First stop, Pizza. Emeka declared. They spent hours exploring the city, but when it was time for Ada's lunch event, she felt a wave of nerves. Standing on stage, she looked out at the crowd of fitness influencers and journalists. If I can run in Lagos traffic, she joked, I can run anywhere. Her humor won them over. The event was smashing successful. At that Fit USA officially launched with pre-orders of Silver Strides breaking records. As Ada's fame grew, so did her circle of acquaintances. At a charity gala, she met a famous Nigerian singer who praised her work. Your energy bars saved me during tour rehearsals, he said, snapping a selfie with her. The real surprise came when a Hollywood actress asked Ada to train her. You want me to help you sprint? Ada asked. Stunned. No. The actress replied, I just want you to help me look like I sprint. Ada laughed and agreed, turning it into a hilarious YouTube series titled Ada Trains the Stars. Not everything was smooth sailing. A customer complained that her strides made her trip whilst training. The video of the fall went viral, the exaggerated memes of people flying through the air. Emeka panicked, but Ada saw an opportunity. She posted a response video wearing a silver stride shoe on her head, saying, if you can't run in them, then you can model in them. Fans loved her humor, sales doubled overnight, turning disasters into dollars, Emeka said, shaking his head in disbelief. Back in Lagos for a brief visit, Ada bumped into Amanda at a track meet. You're famous now, Amanda said, half smiling. Ada felt a mixture of emotions, nostalgia, pride, and a trace of bitterness. I'm still running, Ada replied, but this time for myself. Amanda nodded, a hint of regret in her eyes. They chatted briefly, and while the past couldn't be erased, Ada felt a sense of closure. She realized she didn't need Amanda's validation anymore. She had found her own. During one of her training sessions, Ada met Nneka, a journalist covering her rise to fame. Nneka was smart, funny, and refreshingly direct. She felt fawn over Ada's success, instead challenging her to think bigger. You conquered fitness, Nneka said one evening. What's next? Their conversation became the highlight of Ada's days. And soon, they turned into something more. For the first time, Ada experienced love that was healthy, free of obsession, filled with a mutual respect. If you've gotten so far, do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications and give this video a thumbs up. That faith was booming. With Emeka's encouragement, Ada decided to expand her brand into children's fitness programs. Kids need to learn early, she said. She created Ada Fit Junior, featuring fun workout videos, games, and child-sized silver strides. The launch was massive. It was a hit. Schools began adopting her programs, and parents praised her for promoting health in an engaging way. From viral videos to shaping the next generation, Emeka teased. Ada couldn't help but laugh. She was proud of the impact she was making. Ada's relationship with Nneka blossomed, but balancing her hectic career with their love life was challenging. Nneka, ever practical, sat Ada down one evening. You don't have to do everything, she said. Delegate. Taking Nneka's advice, she hired a larger team for Adafit, freeing up time to focus on her personal life. They spent weekends exploring Lagos, laughing over street food, and dreaming about the future. For the first time, Ada felt truly at peace. For her success didn't come to her at the cost of her happiness. Ada surprised everyone by announcing her return to competitive running. Why now? Reporters asked. Because I missed the trail, Ada said. But this time, she wasn't running for medals or approval. She was running for herself. The build up to the race was electric. Fans speculated if their fitness mogul could still hold her own against younger athletes. Ada trained diligently, but without the obsessive pressure she once placed on herself. On the race day, the stadium buzzed with excitement. Ada ran with confidence, her strides powerful and free. She didn't win gold, but she placed a solid third. The race erupted in cheers celebrating her return. In her post-race interview, Ada smiled. Winning isn't always about the medals. It's about showing up, giving your best, and having fun along the way. Her words resonated with millions, cementing her legacy as more than just an athlete. She was inspiring. With her fame and fortune, Ada launched the Ada Fit Foundation, dedicated to supporting underprivileged children with athletic talent. No kid should have to give up their dreams because of financial barriers, she said. The foundation opened training centers across Nigeria, providing equipment, coaching, and scholarship. Young athletes flourishing reminded Ada of her journey, and she was determined to give them the opportunity she once fought so hard for. Amanda, inspired by Ada's transformation, reached out with a surprising proposal, a collaboration between Ada Fit and her own coaching academy. We could achieve so much together, Amanda said. Ada hesitated but ultimately agreed. The partnership proved success. With Amanda mentoring young coaches and Ada focusing on athlete development, they rebuilt their relationship as colleagues. Though the past lingered, they found mutual respect and forgiveness. Merchandise. Emeka announced one day, we need other merch. Hoodies, water bottles, headbands. Ada rolled her eye, but trusted him. The Other Fit merchandise line launched with cheeky slogans like Sprint, Don't Sim, Run Your Own Race. It was an instant hit. Fans flooded social media wearing Ada gear and revenued soared. You're basically Beyonce of the fitness world now. Emeka joked. Ada laughed, realizing how far they had come since their first viral video. One quiet evening, Nneka surprised Ada with a small box. Before you ask, no, it's not a sponsorship deal, she said, grinning. Instead, it was a simple gold ring. Ada was speechless. I've watched you grow into an incredible person, Nneka said, and I want to keep cheering you on forever. Tears streaming down her face, Ada said yes. Their engagement became a symbol of Ada's journey from obsession to healthy, supportive love. Ada Fit expanded into other countries, becoming a global brand synonymous with fun, accessibility to fitness. Ada's story inspired countless people to chase their dreams no matter their struggles. She was invited to speak at international conferences, sharing her journey from a troubled athlete to a successful entrepreneur. It's not about running away from your past, she said during one key speech. It's about running towards a better future. Ada stood on the track one evening, the sun setting behind her. Nneka sat in the stands, clapping as Ada jogged a victory lap, not for a race, but for her life. Looking back, Ada realized how much she had grown. Her obsession with Amanda had taught her that the importance of self-worth and forgiveness was untradeable. Her lucrative career showed her that success meant lifting others as you climbed. As the crowd cheered her name, Ada raised her hand in triumph. She found love, purpose, and peace. And this time, this race was entirely hers. The moral lesson of this story was self-worth over validation. Ada learned her value didn't depend on others' approval. True success came from believing in herself. Healthy relationships. Ada journey showed the differences between toxic obsessions and supportive, respectful relationships. Ada turned pain into power. She transformed her struggles into motivation, building a legacy that inspired others. Forgiveness. Forgiving Amanda allowed Ada to heal and focus on her growth. Balance in success. Ada achieved her dreams without sacrificing her happiness and relationship. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and like this video and follow us on all social media platforms. Bye.